As you've seen, we've been focusing on first steps of faith, first encounters with God, and the power of small beginnings. But some of the most powerful moments come when we return to where it all began. In this incredible testimony, you'll hear from Elisha, who walked away from the faith and faced darkness in the streets of Tel Aviv. But he encountered Yeshua again and returned to his first love. Because no matter how far we wander, God is always inviting us back to the beginning, back to him.
All my life, I remember that I would try to hide the New Testaments and make sure that nobody knows about it, because if you know Jesus and you live in Israel, it's like a taboo. And throughout my whole life, I've seen my trial to escape anything that is related to Jesus. And this is because my dad was a pastor. And so as I was trying to escape Jesus, I ended up at age 13 addicted to drugs. And it started to roll a ball, and at the age of 15 I got into a criminal gang, and I started to steal stuff with them, sell drugs for them. And then came the age of 16, where I was standing at a bus stop, and this guy drove up in the car and asked me if I want to have sex with the lady that is with him in the car. And I had nothing to lose. I had no morals or values, and I said, why not? It's part of the world, it's what the world does. As I started to get into relationship with this man, he soon became my gigolo, and he would offer me to different people. And so it brought this type of shame, because where I grew up and my reality were a lot of criminal gangs, and you have to be tough and strong, and that was something that you don't do. As I was 16, this guy really started to manipulate me, and my whole reality was crashing on top of me, because I was feeling shameful. I was ending up with no money. I was addicted to drugs. So I felt very comfortable to share with my sister about my life. We were very close, and she just knew that she had to tell my dad what was going on with me. So she shares to my dad that I was a male prostitute, that I was addicted to drugs and involved with all these criminal games, and I ran from the house. And as my whole world is crashing, I find myself just standing on this intersection, and I'm looking over to the left, and I see the house of the gigolo, and I'm looking over straight ahead to go to the way to my criminal gang, to sleep at his house, where he used to point guns at me, and I also look on a way that I end my life. And these were my options. As I'm walking, I start feeling like something is pushing me towards to go home. I've went home many times before, and I got kicked out, and I have this shame, and that wasn't an option. And at 3 a.m. I find myself going home and getting on my knees, and I just start crying. I start weeping. I have nothing left in me, and I knock on my dad's door, and he opens the door, and I say, "Dad, I need help." And my dad looks at me and he says, "You don't need help. You need Jesus." And this is the moment where I feel like an angel came and picked me up from my knees and put me on my feet. And since then I started to follow God and Jesus. And I found a new life, a purpose, a meaning. Immediately my dad took me out of all the situation, and the Spirit took a hold of my heart, and it cleansed me. It just gave me a new heart with new wants and new desires. And that was a miracle in and of itself. So as I'm living my life, God was always in the back of my mind. I knew that God had his eyes on me the whole time. And I believe that he had not only his eyes on me, but he has his eyes on everybody. And I know that everybody who seeks God will find him. And that's a promise he will keep. And my story is a testimony of God's promise. So today I work with Jews for Jesus, and I found my passion in telling people that there is hope, a hope that I couldn't find in the worldly things. When I found Jesus, it was the most amazing experience that I could have had in my whole life. So I'm sharing the gospel with people, the good news, with people here in Israel, sharing with them that there is that hope we find in Jesus.
Wow, Elisha's story brings me to tears and reminds me that God never gives up. When you invest in gospel-centered ministry in Israel, it helps people like Elisha return to their first love, and it helps others to find Yeshua for the first time. So thank you for trusting God with your first. Let's keep planting, let's keep watering, and let's keep believing, because God will bring the increase. In Him, our first will last.